Hello everyone, and welcome to Reverse versus OBOY. And right now we've got the survivors trying to play as stealthy as Yoka X playing the Wraith for OBOY. And once again, I am joined by Direwolf in the casting booth. I'll let you take it from here.
Welcome in everybody to Deadlock Saloon, and the first trial here. We do see a stealthy approach by our survivor team on Team Reverse here. Deadlock Saloon does offer you some very powerful bushes to hide in, but it seems like they've made a little switch here now, going for these generators instead. That's going to be the first survivor. Le Magic pushed off a generator here. Hex Ruin is going to do work for our killer. Indirect pressure coming out now as the objectives are going to be regressed when they are not working on it, and this is going to be some patience into a stun here, so distance is being taken towards the shack area. Good start for our survivors, 70 seconds into the trial so far, not taking any injury here, instead going now towards the main building, trying to catch the next survivor and potentially also breaking these very powerful walls in order to make sure that the chases are going to be a little bit easier later on in the trial. Does catch a survivor here, which might be the first hit onto laser. Hex Ruin is going to do work, and we can see that Sloppy Batsche is in the trial here, so that's going to add some longer reset times and is going to make the decision making for our survivors a little bit more difficult in terms of, do we go for a reset or do we stick to the gens?
I mean, on the topic of that question, I do think you're at the point where you can just stick to the gens, and we do see Hubi taking that hit right next to that ruined totem, so that should have been called out. Now Reverse knows where that totem is. They'll be able to start to work on it, assuming that Hubi doesn't go down right here. First generator gets completed, and the pallet gets dropped, and Hubi goes down.
A very, very nice mind game here from our killer that gives you a good feeling. Also, Corrupt Intervention now expired, but you do have your very first hook stage coming in, and usually the area at the gallows is something you really, really like to play around. You often spawn with a good setup. Over here we can see the generators being close together. You could potentially chain that into the water tower generator here as well, especially as long as Hex Ruin is still in the trial here. It's now going to be the vault from our survivor. Pale is going to take the next hit here, so someone else will need to rotate over towards the hook, and we can see our killer is going back. We see this beautiful triangle setup here on this gallows area, and our killer coming back in a perfect moment is going to wait out the borrowed time here, and that might be the second hook coming in very soon.
Yeah, and luckily Hubi does have this pallet here to play with, and so far playing it very well, even though that part, ooh, I didn't think that was gonna be a hit, but pallet save maybe? No, nothing there, and it is just going to be the second stage. I do have to say, well played to Hubi for managing to waste just a little bit more of that killer's time, and another generator did get done in the meantime. Ruin now gone. Le Magic getting chased around the edge of the map here. This should free up some room for someone to get the save. Yoka X takes the stun and is going straight back to the hook.
Decision making here by our killer, trying to push this elimination as aggressive as possible. I have to say it surprised me a bit that he was not going for the corner hook there again deep into the region, but he maybe didn't want to waste any time getting this elimination coming through, and the 3v1 setup or scenario would be really, really huge here because we still have 3 generators to go, and we can see the decision making is clear. The survivor Tunnel has priority here. He does take a quick M1 here, and there is going to be someone taking a body block, but that's just going to be a down, forcing some pressure here. There's no unbreakable allowed on the survivors team, so someone will need to rotate over away from the generators to get the pickup here. And meanwhile, it is going to be Hubi on the pallet here, running for his life, trying to stay alive as long as possible here. And this run is really going to make a huge decision, and unfortunately it's not going to be a long one. Very, very strong play by OBOY's killer here, getting the 3v1 with 2 generators still remaining. For now, it's really, really looking good for OBOY.
I mean, not to mention you have 2 survivors injured and 2 survivors that are right around here. We have Laser getting chased now, so it's going to soon be 3 survivors injured. They're going to have to go for a reset at this point, and that Sloppy Butcher isn't going to make it easy. Laser takes the hit, and Yokai-X just going to head off, try and find whatever these survivors are doing. We do find LeMagic here, but yeah, this is the last pallet in this area. LeMagic's going to have to run somewhere else because there's nothing here. And we do see this generator does have some progress on it, but no survivor to be spotted nearby. And LeMagic gets away pretty much for free. And no, LeMagic stayed waiting on this Killer Shack pallet, and Yokai-X rings the bell almost fully, and then just uses that Shadow Dance. Nice little mind game that we get to see on Wraith. And do we see the move speed? No, we do not. And it's going to be a nice stun from LeMagic. And the chase will continue. Or not. Yokai-X decides to go back, defend these generators. There is a nice little 3-gen back here. And like we mentioned, there's nothing here for the survivors to use anymore. And that just solidifies the 3-gen. And it might be sealing the survivors' fates.
Yeah, it's really rough, right? This 3-gen still being available there is going to hurt them. However, this chase we've just seen on the main building there was really impressive. And when the killer had to leave the chase, that shows us that he does notice that OBOY had quite some time now to work onto the resources. But it is still going to be rough. The 3-gen setup, 3 of them being injured here as well. So the snowball potential is really, really high. And now we are going to see the killer rotating back. Yokai-X is going to be the interrupter for this generator here. The survivor left early, but there's no exhaust available, so you are going to be caught eventually. We do hear survivor left from us as well. The down coming through, so pressure is on the table again. LeMagic will potentially just be hooked here, but then our killer is forced to go back. I don't think the survivors can push this generator right now. They need to go for a reset and keep it safe here. Otherwise, they might get generator number 5, but are going to be 4K potentially, and they are receiving a basement hook here as well. This is really going to work into the killer's favor here, as he is the 3-gen literally close by.
Yeah, and the survivors just aren't resetting, and I think that is going to end up being the death of them. I know the Sloppy Butcher, it's a nice deterrent for resetting, but you gotta heal against the Wraith. That's why we banned the reset perks, because resetting is so powerful. Pal goes down in the main building, while LeMagic did get pulled off the hook in the basement, now running over by the water tower here. Pallet gets dropped, and Yokai-X goes for an ambitious lunge there, doesn't quite get anything from it. And now LeMagic just running around this pallet. We got the mind games coming through, and LeMagic playing this pretty well. Does get the vault back into the Killer Shack. Yokai-X gonna have to break this wall, weaken the strength of this loop. And we're going back to this pallet over here.
And this is going to be the question, how long can this run last? And he does get quite some seconds off here. We do see one survivor being reset for that in the distance. Perhaps we do see a second one. He gets the vault as well. So doing a really, really strong job here for the second time now, where he is cutting off time from the killer. But unfortunately, he is forced to go back into the generator setup here and just holding W into a corner. So yeah, you do get the reset on 2 survivors onto Laser and Putter there in the distance, but it is going to be a hook in the generator setup. Not much travel time for our killer after the hook is coming through. LeMagic will also be dead in 60 seconds here, so a good work by our killer, cutting the survivor team soon into a 2v1 scenario. And we can see how he's using his map environment here, standing on the gallows to get an overview where the survivors are, locating them really quickly here, going for another tag onto our Nia, and he will now rotate back towards that unhooked survivor, keeping up the pressure here, constantly forcing them into resetting against this Sloppy Butcher here. And actually he is deciding to come back to this generator, as Nia is playing it really, really aggressively, and this is going to backfire onto our survivor team. The down onto Pale is coming through. The good news is this is going to be some additional hang time for the survivors.
Yeah, and Reverse did manage to get the reset finally, and hopefully they get the reset onto LeMagic, but we did just see LeMagic in the street, I believe. And it looks like Yokai X just gonna kind of trail the scent. They aren't resetting Laser, posturing for the save. And Yokai X just kind of chilling in his 3-gen. He's got the hook here. He's got all his generators here. He has no reason to leave. But Pally gets pulled off the hook right when Yokai X wasn't looking. Laser, now being the target of the Wraith's aggression, takes the hit through the pallet. And just heads back.
Yeah, I just have to say I'm impressed by our killer here also, how slow, calm and collected he's playing this. They have gone for a reset, which is obviously putting some pressure onto you, right? Your strategy is not working out anymore. The Survivor team found a moment to counterplay, and he's just keeping it safe, keeping it calm, getting everyone back injured, keeps the pressure up, and LeMagic is going to die. 2v1 scenario here, well, and look on this triangle setup there on the gallows area. These 3 generators are so close together, and still our killer has a very, very good eye onto them, not wasting much time in these chases here. So I do wonder if you are maybe thinking about an end game play slowly, sacrificing one survivor and maybe going for an exit gate after the hatch has been closed here, because with this down, things seem to end very soon here.
That might be best case scenario. I think this is one of the better door setups, because we have the door right here by our 3-gen, and then the other one at the end of the road, kind of in the direction Yokai X is looking at right now. But it looks like Yokai knows that, and he's just looking around. We hear the Nia. Oh no. Nia tried to be a Blendette. Unfortunately, you cannot become the bush. And Pally goes down. And that's the game. 4K at 1 gen left.
It's a rough result here for Reverse, right? Because you know, oh boy, is coming out with confidence when they pick the Wraith. It's an uncommon pick. It's a difficult pick with this balancing. So when a team is throwing Wraith onto you, you do know something is prepared here. And I do think Reverse was going for a preparation with OBOY's strategy. They were ready to be efficient on the generators, taking the outs here. But we've talked about it in the campfire chat earlier. Wraith has been really, really strong with this balancing when played perfectly, and our killer for OBOY here, Yokai X, did that perfectly. He does get the 4K on a generator left, so the pressure is high here. You essentially need a generator, 3 generators done max when you get the 4K on your side, which is going to be really, really difficult. So at this point, I also think Reverse might be happy to just tie this, keeping a 3-gen like this in the corner, tie this and move to the other sets.
Yeah, but that said, from what we've seen, this killer can be very feast or famine. I mean, 4K at 1 gen left. Last time we saw Wraith, I believe it was a 4K with a bleed out, and some weird stuff happened there that made the score a little wonky. But like we mentioned, the balancing for Wraith has these survivors very limited in what they can use. So it makes it a lot easier for the Wraith to be able to just go around and have pressure. So we might see another 4K, which I think would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I have to agree. A 4K would be fun, especially because Wraith is a really interesting killer for comp, and whenever the matches are just coming down to the question who is getting more generators done, so just talking about 2 or 4 points here, it's absolutely interesting, and it might be really, really critical here. With the 3 gens we do see on Dark Saloon and how our killers can play around that, it is sometimes getting really, really intense there. So it is going to be tough for the killer of Reverse. We are going to find out how they are going to reply to this very impressive 28-8 in the first match, and we are going to catch you with that straight after a little break.
Hello everyone and welcome to game 2 of round 1. We got the survivors of OBOY playing against Wraith, and I gotta be honest, I was not expecting Hubi to be playing Killer. I didn't know they played Killer, I'm gonna be honest. And already we find a survivor on the totem. Dimeout manages to get it before the game really even starts. Hubi having a little bit of trouble getting the Pentimento back up, but other than that, it seems like a uneventful start. Hubi just gonna walk away, not really bother with it. We do have Obi playing the David. Gonna be interesting survivor choice, actually. You don't really see that too much, I'm gonna be honest. And it is going to be the M1.
I have to protest that they okayed well.
Yes,
But,
the Kate main himself demands that there be a Kate in every match, and a very nice stun from Obi. And I am going to get these names confused very quickly. Hubi and Obi, they rhyme. I'm going to get them mixed up at least once. That is a guarantee. And we do have the just target switching back and forth. Nico now taking Hubi's aggression. Gonna be running to the main building, and Hubi hasn't really had the chance to break walls and whatnot here yet, but not gonna run inside, not gonna do anything like that. Just gonna loop this pallet out front, and that is the Pentimento gone. The survivors, knowing that there's Pentimento, they shouldn't be cleansing any of their totems. So with this corrupt intervention running out, you pretty much only have one perk. We did see a body block attempt from Dimeout, not quite gonna be able to make it. Hubi getting his first hook of the game. No generators complete. An improvement on the pacing we saw from Yokadex.
Yeah, at this point it's going to be really rough, right? Your corrupt intervention just expired, you lost your ruin and your Pentimento. The first hook is going to be an instant save, so you don't even have the time to check on the other generators, getting some information and making a new plan. The survivors are resetting over here, but it is going to be a pallet drop after waiting patiently here. Nico doing a good job on that, and we do see that Daimao is ready to take a hit for the teammate here, so this allows Nico to avoid the tunnel for a little bit longer. Just going upstairs, the wall would need to be broken, so Hubi is forced to leave our survivor here, rotating towards the generator, but no pressure from a Hex Ruin is coming in here. Great stun by Mathis here for his debut for OBOY. Really strong, getting the distance there. Now with patience, once again taking time from the killer before dropping this pallet. So I do think what we see here is a very confident performance by OBOY, and Mathis actually waiting out the mind game with the bell here and is holding W away from the gallows area, avoiding the area where the generators are close by here. A reset is coming in the distance. OBOY with so much pressure onto the killer here. They are getting their objectives done. They are going for the resets. They need to watch out that they are not becoming too slow in the mid game here when going for all these resets. But if they do get one or two generators really soon here, they are going to be on an impressive run. Unfortunately, Mathis is going down, but was actually staying alive for quite a while here.
Yeah, I mean, he allows his two teammates to get the reset, and we just talked about it. Against most M1 killers, resetting is the #1 thing you want to do, and there is generator #2, and I believe that was a blood pact I just saw on Obi, and we are going to get back into the chase. I want to come back to that blood pact thing. It's a really fun perk. Dimeout gonna take the hit, and Hubi just gonna make sure no one else is going for that save. And it seems like we have a little bit of time. No, we don't. We're back in the chase, and let's see how this mind game plays out. Hubi doesn't try to force the pallet drop. Instead, goes around. This could be the window vault. There's 2 vaults, 1 more vault, and this window is blocked. Mathis gets pulled off the hook by Nico, and I think it is just going to be the tunnel.
Yeah, Hubi is going to try eliminate this survivor as quick as possible. This 3v1 is so crucial when you are facing a high win condition also. We can just have 2 more generators being gone and then you would still sit on a tie. So it is really, really rough for Hubi here. He does need the pressure. He has 3 survivors injured again, but he's forced to leave them as the survivors are over here on the generators. So 2 of them will potentially go for a reset. David taking a hit here, so Claudette can rotate over towards the shack. Obi will now be the survivor that is getting into a chase, but there are more resources over here on this filler pallet. Mind game is coming out. It's not even going to be the drop. So much patience by Obi here. He is standing again and again. What an impressive play here. And the whiff coming out. Our killer going for Minecraft swings real quick. +5 wood there, and David still on a run here with a fake at the vault as well, now going down, but there was so much time being taken considering it's a filler pallet on the outside of the main building here. 1 more generator for the tie condition here of Team OBOY. Now it's going to be tricky though. Are they getting a little bit greedy on the objectives, or are they taking an additional step going for the reset? It seems like they're sticking to the objectives. They must feel really, really confident right now, but the chase is happening at the Tina, not the safest tile in the game here. So 1 mistake and you potentially face a difficult status in the game here. It's going to be Mathis with a very good chase once again here, winning it and going for the triple on each window here. Meanwhile, we do see the pickup happening, so Mathis going down in this corner of the map is not going to hurt these survivors.
And there's the 4th generator.
This is huge. Now we have the highest minimum. 1 more gen and the win is coming through, and we'll look on this generator there at Gallows. It's so far away and so hard to defend.
Yeah, and we just went past another generator that sounded like it was really progressed. I believe that was the generator Mathis was working on. And they're just and Hubi is leaving Mathis on the ground, and he should be getting picked up soon. We do find Nico here at the window. Is gonna get hit through that. It can't be that greedy when you don't have a pallet, unfortunately. So 2 survivors on the ground. It does seem like Daimao and Obi just went for the reset, and I don't think, yeah, Daimao's coming over to pick up Mathis, but not picked up quite yet. So Mathis is still gonna be a little bit vulnerable, not being at full health, and Obi is just ready to go for that unhook.
Mathis once again on his TNL here. He was really, really strong in that chase just a little bit ago, but hesitates a little bit here. Is going down this time fairly quickly, but we can see Hubi with pressure on his shoulders, forced to go for a slug. Obi and Daimao need 2 tags each before going down. Nico would be the survivor. You never mind, he's just getting a reset, so you can't even go for this survivor. 3 survivors healthy, forced to slug, not with the chance to pick Mathis up over there, and the generators being really, really split. All that a really, really difficult situation for our killer Claudette with a nice vault here, making it to this pallet, and the patience game is going to start once again. Quick break of this pallet here, but she's just running into the corner here with another pallet being available.
Ooh,
nice mind game this time by Hubi, getting the tag there. And now is the question, right? Are these survivors just doubling, potentially tripling on the generator in the distance, as this would be the win, or are they going for a reset once again? I honestly wouldn't be surprised if OBOY would just push it right here.
Yeah, it seems like they should be doing it. There's 1 generator here, 2 generators on the other side of the map, and there it is. That is going to be the win for OBOY, and it looks like Daimao might be the only survivor not getting out of this trial, depending on how this is played. We do see a door nearby. If OBOY really wants to pad some stats, they can go for it, but I don't think that is going to happen. We see the survivors over here by the door waiting, and I doubt they're 99ing this. A cheeky for the people hit it in their back pocket. They didn't even need it that whole time, and that is going to be Daimao getting killed, and that is going to be round 1 in the books.
Very impressive play there. Obi with the obsession escape using for the people to be higher ranked in the scoreboard than his teammates, flexing off here with set number 1. He actually gets it. Obi, the MVP in blood points for Team OBOY there. No, just kidding, but OBOY really strong. And honestly, I don't want to say that they just delivered what we expected after they pulled the Wraith here, because it's different between saying we are confident and we are having the performance ready on Wraith and actually showing that. But the difference here between a 4K on your killer side and getting so many stages out of the doorway, leading into a 44-23, that is almost double points compared to reverse here, and starting off like this into a 1-0 is so impressive here. So OBOY really coming out strong here, and that is going to be rough for set 2, right? Because we talked about Laser earlier, potentially playing the Spirit here for reverse and being really experienced. But when you almost double the score of your opponent, there's some mindset coming in that could potentially carry OBOY on a very dangerous dynamic.
Yeah, we talk about momentum a lot here, and starting off like this does not bode well for reverse. If you're OBOY, you're coming off this win, a dominant round win, I do have to say, and you're going to be rolling into the Spirit pick, and you still probably shouldn't win it if we're just looking at this matchup on paper. But now reverse is on the back foot, so it'll be really interesting to see what happens. But we will be back with the Spirit round right after a quick break. Hello everyone, and welcome to round 2 of reverse versus OBOY. We've got LaMagic playing the Spirit, which isn't what we were expecting, but already getting a pallet to the face. I believe that was from Dimao. Nicely played from him. And LaMagic just gonna leave. I don't even think we got the chase music there. I don't even think that counted as a chase in the game with how fast that was. And we do see the scratch marks of another survivor. LaMagic going to be trailing them. And losing the scratch marks spots Dimao once more. And another survivor to our right. We have the Volt through the window, and Dimao playing this really well so far at this TNL wall. And we are just going to see the loop around here. LaMagic goes for the hit. Too little, too late, doesn't get the hit. And I believe we did see the teabag from Dimao. Obviously, he's feeling pretty confident with his play right now, but a little too confident, and he does take the hit through the pallets. And now this chase just got a lot easier. Lori going to be making those groans of pain. Going to be a lot easier for LaMagic to track. And the dead hard through the lunge, a very nicely timed dead hard from Dimao. And Dimao just playing this chase incredibly well. And LaMagic not able to do much at the moment. It does have his face back up, should be able to get something here, and ooh, doesn't quite get that trade once again. Dimao absolutely on fire right now, and that is one generator getting done. I imagine we'll see 2 more. Dimao finally goes down, but what a run that was.
This was incredible. OBOY here with an absolute fantastic first chase, same as against the Wraith. Their early game is really strong. We do see them already cleansing the Dal totems towards, and no one escapes death, and they're in a healing, of course, there as well. But this is impressive that they already say, hey, the start was that good, we can start removing some resources from the killer for the remainder of the trial here. It's going to be now an interesting choice for LaMagic. Do you go for the camp here? Because You definitely lost some time there, but I am surprised OBOY not with a second generator, and that one there far in the distance has just been started, so potentially they have already taken care about all dull totems here and getting some additional resources out of the trial, or they can actually not punish Lumagic as much as they would love to with this very, very impressive first chase. He's holding the choke point. We do see 60% on this generator, and this one is just getting started, so actually the generator pressure is not really on point right now.
Yeah, while the generators aren't exactly getting done, we do get the save onto Daimao, and I don't think either side is doing too well on the whole generator front. We do see Lumagic with that double pop build, the pain resonance, and the pop goes wheel. Didn't get a whole lot out of it, and Lumagic seemingly learning from his mistakes. Daimao goes down just like that. And he's gonna be right back on the hook. That is, I believe, Nico running away from this gen. This gen does have a decent amount of progress, so I believe we'll see the pop goes to Weasel use on this gen. No, that is the pain resonance on that generator. We should see the pop being put on another generator, hopefully.
Yeah, I was about to say it's going to be interesting how Lumagic is actually planning to play this out here, because if he takes the value from the pain resonance, you really want to get the pop goes to Weasel in here, and he decides to have that done on the fun bus here, so he does get the 25% regression on a generator here. Is going to be really, really important to cut some time from the survivor team for the people coming in order to prevent the slug here. So I do think OBOY is quite happy having Obi just go down here and have him on a hook. That is 2 minutes of hang time now, and you prevent the tunnel on that survivor. Lumagic is going back towards the fun bus here, might apply another pop kick, or just trying to find the survivors, but evolve just in time over the pallet here. Not going to be the injury. Lumagic now looking back towards the hook. There's another filler pallet you can remove, so slowly also this part of the map here is going to turn into a very, very dangerous area, and Lumagic is looking forward to get additional hits and downs later on in the game, but Jake manages to bamboozle him a little bit here on this tile, and it's a swing and a miss from Lumagic. Potentially the pressure is getting higher here. Now the tag is coming through. Meanwhile, Obi is getting unhooked in the distance. There cannot be healed just yet, as we serve the broken status effect from the 4. The people there will be caught here in a dead zone. Still 3 generators to go. I do feel like OBOY's pressure in the trial is a little bit better than they reflect themselves in the generators here. They need to really watch out that they are not becoming too slow in the mid game. Hook stage number 4 is going to come through now, so OBOY really needs to make sure that these generators are coming out really soon here.
Yeah, and I guess there's no deliver. Oh yeah, because Obi went second stage. I don't think it was an unhook. I think that might have been a deliverance play that I just happened to notice on Obi. So Obi gonna be on that hook in the back end. Do we see 3 gen at all? Not particularly. So I know you're talking about the survivors taking it slow, but there's a 3 gen, so I don't know, because you, on one hand, if you're the survivors, you can take it slow. All these gens are spread out. There's no need to try and be aggressive. And we do see some survivors trying to move in for the save. Lumagic coming back over here, trying to camp out Obi. And we do see 1, 2. Do we see 3 survivors? I don't think we do. But Nico's gonna come in. He's gonna take the M1. Now 3 survivors injured, and Obi could be going down here very soon. Do we see the target change? And it is going to be Nico who goes down instead. And Mathis does get reset rather quickly. The flashlight save! The flashlight save! That was that I think that might have been Mathis or Obi. I don't know. That was...
Just give it to Mathis.
Yeah, just give it to Mathis. His debut match. He might have been across the map, but he deserves it.
Your Mathis here with a very impressive flashlight save there. Good work, Mathis, for Team OBOY here. We do see that the hook is coming through on the Funbus once again, but OBOY is doing a good job with getting these fresh hooks split for the 2 minutes of hanging time there and putting that pressure into the generators. They're doing a good job with that. Of course, you do lose a point every time due to the 3-2 scoring here, but you do get these resources into your generators, and LeMagic has to keep an eye on this generator back here. Meanwhile, that is going to be a reset onto Obi there. Edge map and the action coming out here by our Nia. She's taking a hit, running far away, so LeMagic with the difficult decision, commitment or checking on the generators. For now, it seems to be the commitment to this survivor here. That is a good choice because Pain Resonance and the pop kick is on the table, but there's a Jake out of nowhere taking a hit. Where's he coming from? That's the question. And he's taking a hit and another down even for his teammate here. Nico playing the tank for his teammate, making sure that they are going on a longer run here. This is now going to be a very crucial moment because this survivor needs to stay alive. Someone needs to potentially rotate over, getting the pickup here. We are running a little bit back into these two generators here at the Funbus. Nia now on the way back. We do see the pickup. I think it was the end. He's once again taking an unbreakable hit here for his teammate. An absolute team play, and LeMagic doesn't care. He's still going after Nia, not finding the target here. So this is going to be a long run now. Jake literally taking 3 hits for his teammate, for Mathis. Nico, the absolute bodyguard here for his teammate. What an impressive play. And Mathis into the adrenaline, so we might see him come back straight again.
Oh my god. Wow. That was some survivor gameplay right there. Like you said, Nico comes in, takes 3 hits, and then the adrenaline. And yeah, Obi goes down, but Obi's dead on hook. That's not going to be a whole lot of points. And what a performance from the survivors of OBOY.
It's rough, right? I'm asking myself, how do you make a reverse here with all that pressure? Because it's hard. This is your spirit set. And you just come from a Wraith set where OBOY doubled the score. Now you're loading into your spirit set. You need the win here in order to push set number 3, and they are OBOY just showing off with 3-time body block from Mathis, with a flashlight save, with great coordination. OBOY is really on a run, and the pressure for the survivor team of our team reverse is going to be really, really high now.
If you're reverse, you have to pull off one hell of a performance. The survivors of OBOY, they had everything together. Everything from body blocks to flashlight saves. We mentioned that, hey, they aren't doing gens as much, but at the same time, they weren't making any mistakes. So gens don't matter, or like gen pressure doesn't matter as much if you just don't mess up. So it's gonna be rough. It's definitely difficult if you're the survivors of reverse. Now you have to come in, you have to play perfectly, and I mean perfectly. You can't let more than 6 stages out the door, or you have to get more than 6 stages out the door, I should say. This is gonna be rough.
Yeah, it's really, really going to be hard, right? You need to pull everything together. You just said it needs to be one hell of a performance. It needs to be potentially your perfect game right here. On the survivor side, you need a long first chase. That is going to make a huge difference, and you need to outplay the first chase OBOY just said, and that's going to be really, really tough there already. Then you need to keep that pressure up. You need to be perfect in the communication. So trial number 4. to make a reverse here, the team needs to have a perfect game set up. We are going to find out how Reverse is going to play this out in the potentially last trial here between OBOY and Reverse. They are going to start on the survivor side. Now we do see Laser and friends coming into the lobby here, and we are going to catch you with trial number 4 in a few minutes.
Welcome back to trial number 4. It could very well be our last one here. We have the survivors of Reverse up against Yoka X playing the Spirit for OBOY. And we are going to see the phase walk onto pallet. Not quite going far enough in that phase. Thought that he would be sitting at the pallet. And pallet doesn't really get too much distance off that first whiff, but it is enough just by a couple seconds. And now waiting at... Oh, drops the pallet on the wrong side. And he is going to go down very quickly. And that is going to be the first hook of the game with some very bugged chase music.
It's a rough start for our survivor team, right? Because we just talked about it. You do need to... Oh, actually waiting there on the shack, but unfortunately that is not coming through, but it's the body block at the hook there. OBOY knows what's on the table now, needs to immediately phase afterwards because they need a good killer game here, but Reverse knows what's up as well, into a stun, blocking the hook there, and now getting the stun. What a beautiful play by Team Reverse here, putting huge pressure onto the killer, and they did realize they can't have an early down and hook like this, so it's going to be now the survivor going into the corner, but that is going to cost a lot of time here, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a survivor rotating in once again in order to block the hook right there. It is pretty close though, so they are prioritizing the gens instead. First objective is coming out here, another generator, half completed already. Now the first hook stage is coming in. Our Lorry Laser playing very aggressive around the hook. He needs to watch out that they are not getting detected, but even though they had a quick down, Reverse really was fighting back from that.
Yeah, and I messed up my camera work there, but we did see Laser did try and come in for the body block. Unfortunately wasn't able to get there in time, and Pedro gets pulled off of the hook. Pallet now getting hit over that pallet once again. A little out of position, but we do see he's able to make it to this pallet, or no pallet there. And just W keys away over to this TL wall. Should have spotted the ruin, should have called that out to his team so they can start dealing with it. And not quite able to get it to the pallet, but based on how the survivors of Reverse have played so far, we might see a pallet save. I hear the footsteps. There's a pallet save! The survivors of Reverse, like you said, they know what's at stake. They're turning their gameplay up to 11. And this seemingly dire game just got a lot more optimistic with how they've been playing.
Yeah, they are looking so good, right? And it almost doesn't feel like they are under pressure. They are not playing like they need to play a perfect game here. They don't play like this is trial number 4 in a best of 3 and might be the last trial before the decision of a 2-0 is coming in. They are playing this so beautiful with the perfect timing here on this pallet as well. They are absolutely showing off here. Yokadex has a hard time catching these survivors. The phase is going to come out and miss. Was that a 99 sprint burst right there onto the ace, making it possible that the whiff is coming out and winning this mind game on the TNL as well. What an absolutely god chase on this TNL here. Yokatex trying for a mind game once again. This time he does get the down onto Pali, but it's just going to be the second stage for the second generator here. I wouldn't be surprised if a third objective is on the way. That is 80% on this, and another one is close to being completed here. Jesus, this is such a gen pressure from our team here. Reverse absolutely looking forward to push the pressure back onto OBOY. This is going to be an instant unhook for 4 gens completed, 2 stages. Yeah, there's a no one escapes death, but I'm not sure if the survivors are keeping up this insane pressure and speed. I don't know if no one escapes death will help you there really, really good. The reset is coming in as well. There's a hex totem being cleansed, reverse on an absolute run right now.
I mean, we talked about how they had to play perfectly. I didn't realize that playing perfectly looked like playing a pub Swift, because this is what this has looked like so far. Body blocks,
yeah,
pallet stuns. Oh my god, this has been so much fun to watch so far. Pedro going back on the hook. And you did mention the Noed. I believe at this point in time, if Yoka X, like say the last gen gets done, gets it down with the Noed, and if you camp out that survivor, it's a tie. So Yoka X has to put in a little more work if he wants to win this for OBOY and make it a clean 2-0. And there is Pele dropping off the hill with the balanced landing. There was no sprint burst, it was the balanced landing on Pal. And a very nice loop so far. I don't know if you quite make it to the pallet. Yeah, so you just take the hit, you W key away to the next tile, and makes it to this filler pallet here, but manages to avoid the face hit. Oh, does go down over the pallet, so pallet should be going on the hook here. And there is the last generator. There's the Noed. Now, if you're Yoka X, if you want to win this, you have to find another survivor, down them, and camp them to death. That is the only way you win this at this point. But the survivors, they're on this door across the way, and it's almost ready to go. Yoka X, he knows he doesn't get that. He just decides, nope, I'm not going to try. I'm going to find survivors running to this door. But there's another door he has to defend. The survivors look like they're just trying to not get caught for the time being.
It's right there. It's tough, right? The Noah totem being right there. We do see the survive. Oh no, this is huge! This is Hubi located here at this edge map tile. This is unfortunate though, because now this is going to be additional stage coming in. I do think this might be a very, very last second decision here though, for either OBOY or reverse, as the stages are coming in and the points here. But this is a fresh hook, and this is so important for the scoring. The no one escapes death is now cleansed. We would see 7 stages if Hubi is dying. I do think that's around the stages we have seen in the last trial. So our scorekeepers are going to have a really difficult job in a second here, because I do think it comes down to the question who had more fresh hooks across the board here. And I am going to say OBOY is taking a lot of risk here. Perhaps they know that they need another stage coming in here, but now with the save coming across the way, he needs to get the down onto Hubi again, or someone else. We need a down.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to be going after Pele here. But this survivor is dead on hook. I don't know if this is the one you want. Yeah, it's an easy down, but now there are 3 survivors who could very easily be getting out of this trial. And we do see Hubi getting out the door. Pedro out the door, and Laser out the door. So there should be 6 stages. It could be a tie here. Looks like we're getting the score in.
It's actually a tie. It's a tie though.
Oh my god, it's a tie.
But why do you take that risk? You had a fresh survivor on the hook there. I mean, yeah, it's difficult to just camp out that survivor, right? With no know it, a 4.4 killer. If you miss one phase, it's going to be tricky. They very likely come in with a borrowed time. Maybe you were scared about a decisive strike there, but going for that there's the chance at least to get the survivor camped into death. When you go for something risky and you do, when you go for something risky and it's a dead hook, you only have the option of a tie there. So I'm not sure what the plan was in the VC of OBOY there, what they told the killer, but this seems like a little bit of an unfortunate miscalculation to me.
Yeah, Yoka X had that survivor that he needed on the hook, and you could have, I mean, they had 3 people. They could have very easily gone for a 3-man save, but you could have made them work for it a little more. But enough talking negative about what could have been. We said that Reverse needed to play it perfectly to win. They didn't win, but they did play it perfectly enough so that they don't lose. There is still another chance for them. And it's going to be an interesting one. We saw Reverse change the tempo, change how they play. This is not the same Reverse that we saw playing that Wraith round. And I'm excited to see what they bring out for their Deathslinger round. We're sitting in the lobby currently, so we're gonna head to a quick break, and when we come back, we will have round 3, that Deathslinger round, on the suffocation pit for you. We'll be right back. Hello everyone, and welcome to round 3 of Reverse versus OBOY. Couple things. First of all, make that we have someone working on a totem right now, and we haven't even been in the trial for like 10 seconds. We got the Deathslinger and a chase, but a couple housekeeping things. Housekeeping takes priority over commentating over chase stuff. Sorry. Apologies for not updating the score in the last game. Today has just been an off day for me. You know, everyone has an off day, so hopefully that won't happen again. And then the other thing, I might have mentioned that the set score is 1-1. It is not. The current round score, the score for the match, is 0-1. But I believe that is all for housekeeping. So let's talk about the chase. And Hubi taking a very quick shot into the M1. And Yoka X is going to reload, going to be looking for more survivors. We already have Laser injured. No Thanatophobia, though, to benefit off of it. And a very close shot onto Hubi once again.
It's a good start for our killer, considering that he lost the Hex Ruin really early into the trial there. It was literally 10 seconds spawn and goodbye Hex Ruin there. But this chase now, after 2 very well played injuries, is taking a little bit too long here. Hubi plays this main building really confident, is now all the way behind the main building, deep in the corrupted area. So this also allows Reverse to spread out on the generators across the board. We see them leaving now, and this was a very beautiful shot onto Laser there into the distance. This is going to be the injury, and we do see the break of chain as the Cigar, one of the add-ons here, is going to tremendously decrease the stun time after breaking the chase. Recently, this add-on is really being picked up in competitive Dead by Daylight. We do see that this generator behind main is also picked up here after the corrupt intervention just expired. An inner healing in a locker leading into the jump out. Potentially you don't want to risk that the killer is going to check the locker or hurt something, so it's just going to be the hop into the killer, taking the injury into some distance, but playing the main building beautifully once again, getting the shot here, but this is not going to be enough. The only thing you are going to apply is the mending status effect here onto the survivor. Meanwhile, the resets in the distance. One generator so far. Yokatex needs a down really soon here in order to get his pressure started.
Yeah, and so far, I mean, I haven't seen comp Deathslinger since the add-on patch, so I didn't even know what that purple add-on was. But we do see it being used quite well here. It seems like it has been replacing those prison chains, so I do think you wish you had those prison chains for that last shot, so that way you could possibly get the M1. We do have Hubi just looping this main building rather well, and you're a 110 killer. You're gonna have a hard time. Yoka X needs to leave eventually, and that is going to be the second generator done, not the last generator. I was looking at Rancor and thinking endgame. We do see the Rancor proc, and Hubi just doing incredibly well in this chase. Yoka X just walking in circles, not able to get anything. We see the firecrackers used, but Yoka X wasn't even there because of how slow Deathslinger is. And Hubi doing a really good job just wasting as much time as physically possible. But now that we've changed direction, we might see a shot get off here, and it should be a first down. We've got the Bloodlust, and Hubi goes down. That was a long chase.
Yeah, a long chase and a too long chase here. I do understand you want to commit to survival, you do want to get your hook stage in, but at some point a chase can turn into overextending and overcommitting, and I do also like, and he does not catch the rescuer in time either, so the survivors will even be able to put up some additional pressure here. This is going to be Laser taking a quick hit. Cigar once again coming into play here and shortening the stun by a lot, so you potentially pinpoint this survivor behind the main building. We do see the information coming through with the Rancor, and the generator setup here at the top side, not the best one either. It's not going to be a tight region, especially now with this generator here, the locks being completed. So we have one stage so far in exchange for 4 generators. A quick crouch tech in the open is not going to put much pressure onto Yoka though. So Ace is leaving towards the midsection as well. We see a beautiful split onto the generators here, 2 at the top side, 1 all the way at the bottom side. So difficult to defend as a 4.4 killer. I think for our killer from OBOY, Yoka, it's important that he does get a down before endgame. This is coming through now, and then you will need a fresh hook towards the end to not end in a really bad result here.
Yeah, you really need to be putting on the pressure, especially towards the end. Luckily, you do have that endgame build. You do have the Rancor, you do have the Noed. So you should be able to get at least a little more out of your perk build. You aren't entirely out of perks just yet. We do see a 2 survivors in the main building. They are going for the reset, and very bold here. Yoka X doesn't quite see them. I don't know if Yoka knows where they are. There's the crow. Is Yoka able to find them? Not in time, at least. Does he get the shot? No, he does not. And Laser could be getting pulled off the hook here by Pale, or even by Hubi. But I believe Hubi's working on that last generator. We do see the hit through the wall. Yoka X, very interesting. I've noticed this. He's been trying to force these stuns. There is the last generator, but he's been trying to force the stuns. I think it might be faster sometimes than just taking the hit and doing the recovery that way. We do have the Noed right by this door, which isn't a good thing, because the survivors, they're going to try and work on this door. They're going to see the Noed, and they should be able to break it. And Laser did get pulled off the hook, and that is another fresh hook. But now we're going to be looking after Laser here, trying to get him out of the game. But we did see Laser does have the decisive.
Tough situation for our killer and our survivors the same way here, because our killer is chasing after the mid-game. Still got not that many stages, but Mori is available into the wall! No! What is this content? You oh, thank God he is now. No, the wall again! It's only half a Mori. That should only be half of the points awarded. 3.5 points going to the killer here for this Mori. It was only half. You do get some penalty there for that, but this is going to be a good finisher though. for our killer, you really needed these additional points there, because this mid game where the survivor was able to run you on the main building for quite some time was really rough here, and it's still not going to be the result you would like to show in the trial number 5 here. A 3-man escape is really strong from Reverse, and they exactly said or showed us what we have talked about, right? They have carried over the momentum. They were still playing it very positive there on the survivor side with a great mindset. They were looking absolutely phenomenal here once again. 3-man escape against the Slinger on the suffocation pit is not something we see every day and so often, so a very impressive result here. In the meanwhile, I think we had 4 minutes of just one hook stage. So the score is coming in any second here, but 3-man escape is really impressive. It leads into an 18 points for Reverse there. OBOY 10 points, so it was 4 stages for our killer. So OBOY's survivor team now is going to be under quite some pressure here. You do really want to make trial number 6 your own. You need a perfect survivor game for it, but I do feel like if you do let this set point slip and force, or let it go into a 1-1, as longer as this match continues, Reverse is going to pick up on the positive mindset and become stronger and stronger. So trial number 6 is going to be crucial for Team OBOY here on the survivor side. We're staying on the suffocation pit, Reverse on the Slinger, and we are going to show you trial number 6 after a quick break.
Hello everyone, and welcome to what could be the last game of this match. We've got LaMagic playing the Deathslinger for Reverse against the survivors of OBOY, and again, housekeeping stuff. Score at the top of the screen is correct. So we did have a little mix-up. We missed one hook stage, so the score is actually 17-13, not 18-10. And that is all the housekeeping. LaMagic did spot someone running across the map. That is going to be Mathis getting spotted, playing that Nia in his debut match. And, ooh, barely misses the long-range snipe. We do see the same add-on combo being brought with that Cigar and Warden's Key combo. So, Mathis could play this really well, or not. It vaults right into the killer's face, but manages to spin him. Mathis. Again, I retract my retraction. Mathis playing this really well so far. Manages to get a nice little juke onto LaMagic and disappears. We do hear a loud noise notification somewhere on the map, but instead we're going to ignore it and chase after Nico. Should be the free M1. Gets the hit, and it does. Oh, a nice quick snipe afterwards, but the body block comes in from Obi. Isn't enough. It is not. And we have the nodders from LaMagic. He's feeling pretty good about that one. Able to get the hit around Obi. Abrupt intervention running out, but we do have the pop goes the Weasel instead of the Ruin, which I believe was brought in the last game.
Yeah, very unfortunate down here, Nico, there with a mistake on the TNL, unfortunately. You usually want to vault these windows in order to force the Slinger into a shot. And here in this specific case, LaMagic went for the M1 and still had the shot available there. And then, unfortunately, the body block not working out, cut a lot of time from the survivor team as well. The gen pressure is a little bit lower at the moment. They have a generator here on 75%. The rescue is coming through. Daimao moving in, LaMagic rotating back towards the hook, already cutting them off from the top side, making sure that they are zoned towards Shaq. And this is going to be the second chase for Nico. We can see Daimao is moving in, trying to protect the teammate, does get the hit, but is it enough distance here, or is it going to be a distance shot? No, LaMagic wants to keep it safe here. in chase with this survivor and is now switching over towards the Adam. Since we have 5 hooks in this game, you do want to go for the fresh hooks and get this little bonus point with the 3-2 scoring as quick as possible. But they are doing a good job on the side of OBOY here, bamboozling the killer a little bit around this hill and making sure they are getting enough distance. And LeMagic actually losing a lot of time here trying to find the survivors again and getting the pressure down onto them. This is going to be Nico with a reset in the distance. This shot missing onto Mathis here. So OBOY with a rough start, but now actually struggling free from the pressure, getting the resets in. The gen pressure should rise really soon here, and especially in case Daimao is going to stay alive for a little bit longer, that might be really difficult for the Magic.
But the shot does come in, and it is going to be a very quick down onto Daimao. Daimao did do a good job making LeMagic cross the entire map in order to get the down, but that is going to be the fresh hook. 2 stages, 3 gens left. Things are looking pretty good for reverse right now, and considering that we haven't even seen the end game, or like the end game build hasn't come into effect yet, I'm pretty confident that was a very nice juke with the live. I don't know what else to say, but I feel pretty confident that LeMagic can wrap this up very nicely. While he didn't have the best Spirit performance, his performance on this Deathslinger is pretty good. We do see another generator completed off the distance. Daimao gets pulled off the hook, and Nico just taking that M1 forces LeMagic out of using his gun. You can't shoot through a wall, unfortunately, or at least not these walls. Some walls you can, not these ones. And we do see, this is, I believe this is, yes, Daimao here, but I thought Nico was here as well. And a very nice last pixel hit onto Daimao. And Mathis in the locker? Was that a head-on play?
I think that's what they tried to prepare here, and that is huge, right? I mean, I understand it from the perspective of OBOY. That was actually the head on there. Yeah, I understand it from the side of OBOY, right? 5 stages is a really, really tough win condition, so you need something risky. You want to play something that would switch the game around in just a second, and a head-on rescue would have been exactly that. Now he gets it, though. Very, very nice head-on play here, but unfortunately, that is some pressure for the killer here, as Daimao is still stuck in 3 injured survivors here across the board. So OBOY put up something risky. I really like that they're trying something like this with the difficult win condition. It didn't work out here. Now we're just 2 stages away from LeMagic taking that set point for the 1-1 for reverse, and then running it back on the set once again here. So LeMagic on a really, really good performance right now. Reverse picking up the grind, picking up the good performance here and making it work. And yeah, 2 more stages and you have achieved what you're looking for.
Yeah, and we do see Nico getting down in the meantime and back onto the hook. That is the 5 stages that we're looking for, bare minimum, for a tie. 1 more stage and it should be reverse winning the Deathslinger round. And it looks like we're going to be very close to it. We just have this filler pallet here, and Daimao almost eats the pallet through the Pokos. Or Daimao almost eats the hit through the Pokos. Sorry. LeMagic eats the pallet to the face. Daimao doing a really good job on just this filler, and Daimao showing off some of his chase prowess. We saw it in the Spirit round. We're seeing it once again here in the Deathslinger round. Mathis runs in, presumably to take a body block, but just runs straight into the killer. Doesn't buy too much time. Nico, in the meantime, gets pulled off the hook. There's a very nice shot from LeMagic, and Daimao should be going down, securing the win on this round for reverse.
And now OBOY needs to make sure that the performance from LeMagic is not becoming too good, right? Because if we are running this back here on this set with the 1-1 set points, you do not want to have LeMagic getting a 4K and proving that he can dominate OBOY here on this set. You really don't want to give that to him, and you don't want to give him a reason to come in with a huge confidence and a very good mindset. So what's important for OBOY now for the remainder of this trial is to make sure that they are taking some stages out of the door here. Otherwise the pressure is going to rise, and LeMagic is going to feel more and more confident, along with the entire team Reverse that is sitting in the background supporting him here. I'm pretty sure in the VC they're celebrating right now because they have every reason to feel really, really good after their comeback here on this set. This was a very important dodge right there from Mathis, the absolute MVP of this match, with the flashlight save earlier, and this is going to be the last and final generator being complete here. So OBOY very likely with the stages here, a few of them are still in the trial, 6 to be very specific here. We see a little teabag there on the hill trying to drag the killer away, but OBOY showing us they can play on point here, showing us they are able to be efficient. But I'm really worried that in the next set Reverse has taken up so much momentum that they are actually going to bring this home.
I mean, that is true, but we can see the confidence from the survivors of OBOY. You can just tell both sides are just incredibly confident in themselves. Perhaps too much. Like, we've been seeing the nodders from LeMagic this entire time. We've been seeing the teabags from OBOY. We've been seeing the taunts from both sides. And it's all in, yep, there it is again. There, it's all in the name of friendly competition. Oh, the Noed was cleansed. And no spear. And it is going to be a 2 out for OBOY. But it is too little, too late. And we are all tied up in this matchup 1-1.
This is a very, very impressive run from Team Reverse here. They made the... Okay, I can't bring this joke again. I did it twice today already. So therefore I'm saying, oh boy, that was a very good performance.
Okay. All right, you're on your own, Dyer. I'm gone. I can't leave. I have to run the stream.
No, they really impressed me here. Reverse did come back so beautiful and so strong. The way they are playing is so beautiful to watch, because they're coming back with such a confidence and with such a great mindset. It looks so great how they are playing. They seem to be enjoying their comeback, and as longer they play here, they are doing such a good job. And I do think we have seen there's confidence in OBOY. We know OBOY has a reason to be confident. The Wraith set, I think that is something they need to focus on here, taking that confidence from set number 1 when we started this off here. But it is going to be really, really difficult, especially on the Slinger. Reverse just took it. Reverse played a beautiful Spirit set here. So the 1-1 is going to push us into set number 4, we could say here. Slinger on Suffocation Pit, but Reverse is going to be difficult to stay under control. LeMagic just played the killer, and it's going to be interesting how he's coming out this time. If he's mixing something up, or if he's just going with this combination, saying, this just worked, I'm gonna stick to it. So trial number 7 is on the way here. 1-1 the current score in the set points here, and we are going to show you that trial number 7 after a quick break.
Hello everyone, and welcome to trial number 7. And I'm gonna hand it off to Dyer real quick, but before I do that, I just would like to point out that with this round, OBOY has played 10 rounds of DBDLeague in 3 weeks.
Wow, that's intense.
Just wanted to drop that little stat. They went 4 rounds in week 1, 2 rounds in week 2, and another 4 here. But I will let Dyer take this chase, I guess. Not the one that we just got out of, but this one.
This one is going to be mine. It's going to be a quick hit here onto Nico, and he does get away into the main building there. That's a really, really important moment into this match here, because you don't want to hand out the first down too early in trial number 7, where it all comes down to the question who's being the winner of this final set point. And it's going to be interesting this time if Le Magic is going to play the main building for a little bit longer. We have seen that before on the killer from OBOY here, taking a longer time on the main building, trying to force the down, and it seems like the killers are agreeing on that. You do want that first survivor here. You are deep in corrupt at the moment, so that means the pressure is being taken in the mid and bottom section of the map here. But after that, you do have an untouched 3-gen on the top side here of the suffocation pit. So if you can secure the down here, potentially carry the survivor into the basement, then you are going to be in a really good spot for the mid game. And we can tell that the survivors realize that rotating in to take a hit here, it's going to be Daimao with attack. So Nancy can take some distance, and she actually manages to go all the way into the midsection here. The Seawall pallet is getting dropped here and immediately broken by Le Magic, removed for later in the trial. This is going to be the information coming through with the Rancor and the Vault into the killer here, securing the first down. That shouldn't be a basement hook, but you will still be able to have a hooked survivor in your untouched 3-gen.
Yeah, and the other thing is, 2 generators got done, and we heard that generator right by where Nico got down. That one's almost ready to go too. The survivors doing really well with their gen pressure. It looks like they brought very similar, if not the same builds. Le Magic changing things up with a bit of a no way out this time. And Le Magic just gonna pull the old sit here and just watch. We see OB running off in the distance. That is the survivor we're gonna chase. Running up onto this hill makes me think that there's a balanced landing, and that does seem to be the case. Do we get the shot? That is the question. It shouldn't be a shot, just the basic attack. The lunge hits Obi. Nico gets pulled off the hook. We're not going to see the long range snipe, but we are going to see... Oh my god! Oh my god! That was a very nice flick onto Mathis. Just saw him right out of the corner of his eye, and then just flick, shoot. Wow, what a shot from Le Magic.
Yeah, we can tell Le Magic practicing a little bit in Valorant here potentially. That was a really beautiful snipe, and that gives you some confidence onto your slinger here. And he is now rotating all the way towards the shack side. Really interesting to see that. Seems like Le Magic is calculating that he has enough time to go for a chase here on the bottom side before generator would be completed. The vault coming in, beautiful forced by Le Magic here into the down onto Obi. One generator is being completed on the top side. Second stage so far, it's really balanced out here. Our survivors with a lot of pressure now getting the reset in as well, taking care about their own resources in the survivor team. Meanwhile, our killer is doing a good job getting the fresh hooks in, and with quite some pressure, nobody sitting in that little corner next to the water tower. But Le Magic actually now with the hook stage far away from his generator setup, so it's going to be tricky for him to keep an eye onto these generators, and it is going to be really difficult for him to make a decision. Am I staying towards the hook, and when do I commit to a chase? It seems like he's just going to do that aggressively though, going on to Daimao here once again. That should be the break off the chain here with this cigar. That's only going to be a short stun, which allows him to follow the survivor immediately. And if Le Magic manages to get this survivor down quickly, he should still be in quite a good spot.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to point out about the cigar is we saw a little bit in the last game, but these survivors know how to play against this add-on. We see them sometimes not resisting. We didn't see it here, but we did see it a little bit in the last game. And so far, I have to say, the survivors of OBOY are playing a lot better than they did, what was it, 10 minutes ago? And Daimao gets pulled onto the hook. Obi and Mathis both fully reset, and we do have this 3-gen on the top side of the map. We're going to use Pop Goes the Weasel on this gen here. Make sure that it doesn't get completed. 3 stacks on that no way out. And we do see a door over here. Do we both doors on the same side. That is very strong for the end game.
The setup is definitely looking good for our killer here, and he can really make that work. And this is now going to be the survivor team with the instant reply here to this hook. We can see them spreading out onto the generators there. There's one at the bottom side for the survivors. They don't need to worry about that, but the 3-gen here on the top side still available. The magic seems like it's going to be the camp into second stage here onto Daimao. Then you are on 4 stages already. A pretty strong result here so far. Nancy is rotating over towards the safe. This one on the bottom side is lost for the killer. This is going to be generator number 4 coming out very soon here. Daimao is hitting the second stage in just a second here, and this generator on the top side, we've seen it being on 30 or 40% roughly now, so this is going to be some time left for the magic to interrupt. The survivor barely missing Nico there onto the main building, so the survivor can stay alive a little bit longer. Would be also good to get some injuries across the board, because as we mentioned earlier, it's going to be the switch onto the no way out, so no one hit is going to be available then. If you get some injuries across the board before we are going into endgame, you could take more value from that no way out. Math is running into the main building, barely missing the shot onto the survivor as well. Oh boy, now with good counterplay to the slinger of the magic here. The gen pressure, however, needs to rise on the top side. They need to break this 3-gen setup as quick as possible.
Yeah, and it looks like they opted to not pop that gen off in the distance, but we see all the survivors right to the side of the map. This is where they're resetting, and LeMagic just gonna follow them, try and find that reset point, make sure he can do as much damage as possible. LeMagic now knows that that generator is pretty much 99 and ready to go, and LeMagic predicting that Mathis is in this locker, rightly so, and that is gonna be Mathis going down. I don't know what generator that was. Okay, that was the generator we were next to. They want to avoid having it get popped and losing the progress. And yeah, that's the 4th stack of no way out. LeMagic doing a great job of spreading the hook pressure. And spreading the hook pressure might not be a good thing in some cases, but when you're running no way out, getting those extra, an extra minutes of the doors being blocked, that is pretty powerful. Right.
It will have a huge effect for you, yeah, that's for sure there with the injury, and that's where the injuries really come into effect, right? When you get the few injuries here before we're going into the end game, you can really turn that into your favor. Unfortunately, not hitting through the window here was a little bit too optimistic. Now only 1 survivor injured, so this additional minute will actually running into the killer here. Unfortunately, not being aware that LeMagic went all the way around there and back into the main building. Nico is going down here. Is that going to be generator number 5? I would doubt it, as this down came in quite quickly. We already see them rotating over, and they're back onto 40% here, so LeMagic doing quite a nice job keeping these generators together.
Yeah, you have this 3-gen top side, and you can pretty much see 2 of them from the top of the hill, and with very little motion, you can honestly just watch all 3 of your generators plus this hook. So the survivors of OBOY, they're gonna have to come up with something in order to get Nico out of this alive, and they're gonna have to come up with that strategy fast. It seems like we got in a chase with a survivor. I'm not sure who was there. I didn't see anyone. We do have a survivor behind this rock, I believe. There's a survivor right here in the main building. This is going to be Daimao avoiding the shots and not gonna be able to go for the save. Do we see the 3-man save coming in? There's 1, there's 2, but where's Mathis? Probably working on a generator if I had to guess. Daimao taking the first hit, and Nico manages to pass through Daimao with those frames off the hook, but now Daimao's injured, and it seems like you only have this filler here and then the window into the main building, but we do have a body block coming in. Do we manage to get anything from it? No, Obi is going to take the hit though, and Daimao should be able to make some distance.
Mathis is either going to be on a generator or in a locker, but this is going to be the break free actually from OBOY here from the top side. They're making their way towards the mid section. Potentially they will be able to go for a reset onto the entire team here, because Mathis is also going to take the hit moving towards the end. But no, they are greeting on the generator here, playing this aggressively. I hope that they have another survivor on the generator on the other side here, because if this survivor is going down, the pressure onto this generator would be lost really soon. This is going to be Adam going down now. Daimao caught off guard here next to this generator. We do see scratch marks being closed. They are playing aggressive. They are going for these generators. They are trying, but they do need to pull back. Yeah, there it is. The reset is now coming through. Daimao is leaving the trial. So a 3v1 with potentially 3 healthy survivors. That is going to be a good decision here. But also, it is going to be the potential for OBOY to take 1 additional second here and make sure that they're not taking any mistakes.
Yeah, and we do see the reset point here. They just reset, unfortunately, the Magic being just a second too late. And I believe that was Mathis jumping into a locker. I'm guessing that's what that noise notification was. We do see the reset on the other side of this hill. Mathis making his way back across the map, gonna be in a chase now with LeMagic, and Nico does get reset in the meantime. We see Mathis putting on the jukes, and a very nice play from Mathis. Manages to juke out the shots and get the stud onto LeMagic. But right now, none of the survivors are working on generators, which is really good for LeMagic. You don't have to worry about these generators being done, and you just have time to play with, which the survivors, they're running out of it.
It's rough to see this with a 3-gen on the suffocation pit and 3 survivors still trying to, or with the need to pressure these. They are doing a good job from this split here. I really think OBOY realized this 3-gen a little bit too late here and had no chance to knock it out earlier here, because now they really struggle. We have to say it's going to be difficult for them to keep this up, because LeMagic is constantly making a nice balance between checking on these generators and
my god!
Oh, wow, this was a shot for the Arcas. What a beautiful one here onto Obi, and this is taking so much unexpected pressure back into the trial here, because I'm pretty sure Obi saw himself being safe there towards the midsection, potentially pulling back and coming back to the generators later on. But this is now going to be the injury together with the mending there as well. So a huge shot by LeMagic here, gaining some confidence from that as well. Checking in the main building now, trying to find another survivor. They have already rotated towards the locks over here. That shouldn't be a hit. Yeah, just barely missing the survivor as they left really early from the generator here. So a dry kick coming out, but as difficult as it is and as much OBOY struggles here, they are slowly getting the pressure in.
I want to go back to that shot because sorry, that was insane. I think you know how we talk about Pocos, we're typically talking about the lunge and how it hits farther than it looked like it should have. We just had some Pocos on the gunslinger harpoon or the Deathslinger's harpoon. Sorry, that was insane. We do see the reset point here. LeMagic didn't want to try taking the shot there, but does manage to get Nico anyway. Just gonna take the M1. And I talked about it earlier how the survivors of OBOY are learning to counterplay this add-on. Nico stopped resisting, so that way LeMagic had to drag him in all the way. You don't get to get that stun for free. And we did see Nico and Obi, they're resetting. But where's Mathis? That is the question of the century. Mathis probably working on one of these generators. LeMagic just gonna try kick it for the time being. And Mathis was here. Let's see if he gets spotted. And there it is. He gets spotted. LeMagic starting to look around the outside of the map. Mathis decides that now is the time to go. Taps the generator on his way out. And already a lot of distance made. The survivors of OBOY, they're playing it slow. they don't want to make any, they don't want to give LeMagic anything more than he already has. And LeMagic is basically playing with one perk right now, and that is Pop Goes the Weasel. OB takes the hit, he's gonna run to the bottom side of the map, and LeMagic is opting to chase. He decides, I don't want to sit and wait for the survivors to come to me. I'm going to make something happen, even if that means I lose a generator. But at this point, you're 7 stages in. I think you can afford that.
Yeah, I think you can feel great from the killer side so far, right? And this is like this commitment here on the bottom side, getting more stages in. You also have that minute on the no way out. You have outperformed your performance prior to this. Obi is would be another stage when going into death here, and now starts the time of waiting it out. Mathis potentially going into a locker there with his hat on, being prepared and ready to go. Obi on the hook here. LeMagic also just able to hold this choke point here. Really, really well played. He's just using this minute to confirm the death onto that survivor. They're checking left and right if someone would cross behind him, and then he will just go for a fresh hook here. That is actually a very smart strategy here.
Yeah, because that minute buys him all the time he needs. And oh my god, a shot. What a shot. This is... LeMagic has been on fire with all of these shots that he's been hitting. And Nico trying to use that distance in order to make it to Obi. And the boxes manage to block the shot, and Obi manages to get pulled off the hook. But now that No Way Out is gone, Mathis is probably opening the door. He is the subject of that rancor. He wants to get out of this trial as fast as possible. And Nico just doing their best to avoid LeMagic. There's the door. We might see a hatch play come in here. It's just going to be the stalemate right now. Neither side wanting to move. Nico doesn't want to move out from behind these boxes. And he's making a run for it. LeMagic decides not to close the hatch. Doesn't want to lose any distance, if at all possible. This is a very standoffish moment right now. Who's gonna make the first move? And it is gonna be Nico. Decides to get out from those boxes. We do have a loaded gun here, but it's not gonna be used. It's just gonna be the lunge. Nico goes down, and that is going to be it for Trial 7. This was an exciting one.
This was a very, very nice one. I have to say, well, if I would be a French caster, I would say now LeMagic didn't happen. They didn't reach the hatch there. But this was a phenomenal performance on Slinger. 4K in trial number 7, right? That's another thing. The teams are here for over 2 hours at this point. We have seen a timeout being called already to restructure yourself, to refocus yourself as a team there, and making sure that you have the strategy right. And LeMagic here, when you open as killer in that last and final set, you have so much pressure onto your shoulders there, and this is just such an impressive play right there. Really, really strong, getting that final survivor there before hopping into the hatch there as well. So really, really strong to catch that survivor there, and making sure you get so many stages in, the 22-13 coming out there. So that is actually a lot of stages that need to go onto a hook there. And on the other hand, still a lot of stages out of the door against the Slinger in trial number 8. Well, so what do you think is going to happen in trial number 8? Does the Slinger come out with something crazy, maybe a Devour Hope even? Or do you play out what has proven to work well so far? Do you just go with your normal perks and trying to play a good match?
I think if you're OBOY, you don't go for the Devour Hope gamble. It has basically never worked in recent history, at least here in DBDLeague.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
watch
true.
elsewhere, but at least here in DBDLeague, the Devour Hope gamble has never really paid off. But at the same time, you have to bring something. You can't just do the same thing that everyone has planned for, everyone has strategized for. You have to do something different. Maybe you decide to switch things up. Maybe throw a dragon's grip in there. I don't know. Do something different that will give you that pressure. But as I'm being invited to the lobby for our hopefully final round of this match, we are going to go to a quick break, and when we come back, all of our speculations will be laid to rest, and we will find out who is going to be winning this match. And we'll be back after a break. Hello everyone, and welcome to trial number 8, Pentimento. Okay, I like this. We were just talking about how we needed to change things up, and there is something being changed up. We got the Ruined Pentimento on Yoka X, who is playing the Deathslinger for OBOY, and that is a nice shot right there. That is a nice shot to start us off. Pale gonna take the hit and run, and Yoka X finds 2 more survivors here in the middle of the map, and another M1. Yoka X doing a really good job just keeping up the pressure in the early game.
A very nice start for our killer here, getting that first or 2 first hits less than 60 seconds into the trial. I am surprised about the Ruin Pentimento combination here, because that is still a very risky pick, and I do think that the survivors are now aware of the Ruin's location here in the midsection, so someone will rotate over and remove that resource very soon. But with how Yoka is playing this so far, it might be... Oh! A nice snipe here onto our survivor. Adam forced to rotate, and he doesn't even get that in time. That means that nobody is really sitting on a generator right now. The Hex Ruin is going to kick in, removing some pressure from the generators here. We are also chasing in the active generators. We're getting a hook in the active generators, so that's a beautiful start here for Yoka, for Team OBOY. Reverse can't really work on the generators right now. This is it. The gen pressure is 2% on this. Oh, okay, 70% on this generator here. I was already getting void there for a second, because this generator pressure is still really, really tough for Team Reverse here on the survivor side. They need to get the pressure in, but they have to wait until corrupt intervention is over, which is just happening now. So 2 minutes into the trial, we see a few injuries, a hook stage, Ruin still up, and the need to rotate over here and come in for the save very soon. A really impressive start for Yoka.
Yeah, impressive indeed. This is exactly what we saw out of Magic in the last trial. I have to say, between the last round and this one, so like the first Deathslinger round and this one, it seems like the killers on both sides have really stepped up the tempo. Yoka tries to hit the shot onto the Atom, tries to prevent the save from coming through, is unable to, but does manage to get the hit off anyway. And Pedro doesn't have a whole lot to work with here. Tries to get around that tree, but is not able to. Pedro going down on the ground. And wait, when did Pentimento get up? Apparently there's a stack of Pentimento. I guess that's what happens when you cleanse for the inner healing. Pedro gets thrown on the hook. Ruined Pentimento doing a lot of work for why am I blanking on the name? For Yoka. Ruined Pentimento doing a lot of work in that gen slow and gen regression. And we did see Hubi getting on a totem. I believe that is going to be the Pentimento. Yeah, Pentimento gone. And it should be the Ruin just doing what Ruin does, regressing those generators. Yoka kind of just playing around the hook, doesn't want anyone to go for the save, at least wants to confirm second stage. And I think the survivors are just going to take this time and never mind. Looks like they're trying to make a play. We got a 2-man save coming in here, and Pally takes the hit, and Yokat gets the hit onto Kubi. All of our survivors are injured now. Thanatophobia would be really great right now. And it's just gonna be the hit around the side, and the stun leaves Kubi in the mending state, but oh, unfortunately Yokat X had to reload. Possibly could have gone for the lunge there, but the ruin still stands, so you do what you need to do. And a very nice zone from Yokat X. Pally doesn't have anything to work with here on the edge of the map, just running around this rock, wasting as much time as possible. Laser should be able to finish that gen by the shack by the time Pally gets picked up. There's the ruin gone, the generator complete. But all the survivors, never mind, forget I said anything. I was about to say all the survivors are still injured, but it looks like we're resetting a little bit.
Hook stage number 3 coming through here. That is actually still working into reverse favor, because even though they had so much pressure against them, just taking 3 stages so far is kind of impressive here. And they are also really struggling free. We had just had 3 survivors injured with a mending. Now we have 2 survivors being injured, and the reset is going on. So this is going to be really something they can build up on. They can catch some confidence and say like, hey, we are able to struggle free here. And when they attack the generators in a good and split up way individually, they might put back the pressure onto the killer here. Important is that this next chase starting off here on this TNL now with Diamao is going to take quite some time. Why am I saying Diamao? It's going to be Petro, but this is going to be a very important chase towards the main building. Here is potentially a good location for our survivor. You will be able to take quite some time here, and we can see immediately that he is dropping the chase, realizing that he needs to take care about these generators, because now with the Hex Ruin finally being removed from the trial, it is not going to be enough anymore to push the survivors away from the generators. Back towards this TNL here with the Nancy. That is going to be an interesting chase once again. TNLs are always a little bit tricky, and Hubi is taking the hit. Cigar is going to come into effect once again. Quick stun, reload, and then we might see a great snipe here. Firecracker is coming out and not getting this M1 here. A little bit too optimistic perhaps. The quick reload into the shot over the window would have been the better choice there, and this distance snipe is not going to find target either. So our survivor is staying alive here and going on a good run into this jungle gym, pre-dropping the pallet, so the killer cannot take too much pressure from here. The vault coming through, is that going to be enough? No prison chains, it is going to be the down regardless, so this is going to be huge. But we have 3 survivors working on the generators here. We don't see them going for a reset. Pentimento is leaving the trial, so the pressure is being picked up. Another generator is being finished very soon. Half of a generator over here. Reverse actually coming back.
Yeah, Reverse doing a really good job to get that pressure back that Yokat X took in the early game. Kubi is on the hook, and that is, I believe, our last fresh hook. Every survivor has been hooked once. No one at risk of being tunneled out right now, but we do see Laser gets caught out of position. Nothing really here, and that is going to be the 5th hook of the game. And Kubi did manage to get unhooked in the meantime, but the survivors have done a really good job of keeping Yokai X on this bottom side of the map, away from his 3-gen. And one of these generators should be getting ready to pop relatively soon. There it is. No more 3-gen. And really, this is just falling into Reverse's hands. It's their game to lose at this point.
Yeah, that's the important thing here, right? We are not going to play just a trial. It needs to be on point here. Yoka needs the stages. There's no excuse. There's no running back. There's no other set. This needs to be on point for both sides here right now with the 5 stages, 4 more to go for a tie. I mean, hopefully not ending in a tie, but we are needing around 4 additional stages here that can flip into both directions, especially when we have one generator still standing. There will be an end game as well very soon where no one escapes. Death is going to become a danger for the survivor team, so you might want to start getting hands onto the dull totems here, making sure that it's not going to become a problem. A miss onto the Adam here. We can feel the pressure is rising. That should usually be a hit there.
Ooh.
And it's, you just go for a snipe. You miss one onto the Adam. Why not just rotating over, taking an insane snipe onto Laser here. Beautiful shot by our killer. We see the shack pallet being dropped early, so we can tell the survivors don't want to take it down, but this is going to be a nice one around the corner of Shack here. Really nice 2-tap onto Laser. The final generator coming out, but the gates on the top side far away. No way out. No additional time being taken by these survivors. Yes, no one escapes. Death is going to help you, but the question is, will you get the value? Are you arriving there on the top side in time? That's going to be the crucial time. The lights on the exit switch already there. 2 lights, of course. This is going to be light number 3 in just a second here. This is a matter of seconds. The snipe onto the ace coming in now. No one escapes. Death. The down coming through. A few stages here with Polly onto the ground. 4 more to go before the win would come through for Team OBOY here. They need more stages, but the pressure is rising and rising. The survivors are rotating across the map here, trying to find the hex totem. This is becoming dramatic. This is becoming intense. Polly onto the hook. 1 additional stage. If he would die, it's not going to be enough with the 7 stages there. So we do need additional survivor going down. Luckily, the hex totem is close by here, so no one escapes. Death will be some value for you. And with now the hex totem being here, the hook being here, and the 2 doors being here, I do think this is actually going to be really difficult.
Yeah, Pally does manage to get saved. They managed to save Pally. Do they get to the door though? That is the question. That is gonna be the hit on the borrowed time. Do they manage to get one of these doors open? It looks like Laser working on a door right now. Hubi in position to get the Noed, and Laser just runs into the corner, wants to waste as much time as possible. Hubi should be able to get the Noed any second now. Doors are open. Does the Noed get cleansed? No, it did not. Maybe they just decide doors are open, book it.
They make it.
Yeah, it looks like they're going for it.
And a miss.
Recovers from his shot. There's 2 out, and there's
No
the
way.
other 2. And there it is.
Oh wow!
Oh my god.
They actually make that with a 4-man escape, not even leaving anyone behind there. The 4-man escape in trial number 8 to finish it off here. 38 to 29. This is insanely well played by Reverse, and considering they had such a long way to come from, this is such an impressive result here on trial number 8. Beautifully played by Team Reverse here. 38 to 29, taking the 2-1 win over OBOY here against my prediction. But we are going to... Yeah, you were right for once. Usually your predictions are not going to turn out, but this time you were actually... Reverse really did a good job here. And talking about Reverse, well, if I'm not mistaken, we have an interview, right?
Yeah, we are going to have an interview coming up, so do you want to just go to break now and get right into it?
Are they ready to... I mean, Reverse probably needs a minute to celebrate, right?
That's fair. I mean, we could talk a little bit more about this match and how the winning team completed the reverse sweep.
You're picking up on my jokes now. Is that the result of 2 hours and 40 minutes casting together?
Yes,
You
it is.
picking...
but for real, this was an incredible performance from both sides. It came down to the wire. Like, it really came down to the wire. And God, it's hard to believe that the Wraith game was 2.5 hours ago.
Yeah.
That is crazy. It does look like we do have our interviewee ready, so we're gonna take a quick break and we will be back with the interview. Hello everyone, and welcome to another interview. We just got out of a great match, and I am joined by Pedro from Reverse, who just came off that win. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. It was a great match.
It was a lot of fun to watch as well. Let's get right into the questions. You guys have been here for a while. I don't want to keep you here too long. How did this win feel? Obviously, you guys fought for it really hard, but we don't see these matches too often. How did it feel to make that comeback?
It felt really well. Sorry. It felt really well also because, we got off to a pretty bad start because the first set was pretty bad for us. And then on Spirit set, which was our peak, we didn't really do as we expected. We expected to win that set. So it was even better for us to be able to just tie that set and then, get a really good comeback on Slinger set, win twice in a row.
Yeah. You guys, your team was the team that called the timeout earlier, and that was like right after that Spirit set, right before you guys started winning. What did you guys do during that timeout? Did you like just take a moment to collect yourself, come into the next match, and just win? Is it like how did you use that timeout?
Basically, we just tried to rest a little bit because after such a close tie, we almost lost. To be fair, like that Spirit set was very much on the edge till the last second, so we just needed a few seconds to rest and get back for the next set.
All right, and I've got one last question for you. We're only in week 3. And you've yet to face a lot of the teams here. What is one team that you're looking forward to playing against?
I could say Eternal, but honestly 6.
All right.
Because Eternal is, obviously they're probably the best team right now, but 6, I'm very curious about 6 at the moment.
All right. Well, that is all the questions I have for you. Is there anything you want to say before we head back?
No, I'm fine.
All right. Well, that is all we have for this interview. We're going to head back to the campfire chat. We're going to get Dyer back in here, and we're going to review this match. Again, thank you for coming on and doing the interview, answering a few questions, and we will see you all after the break.